everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the Iris shawl, which you can see here in front of you. Now this is a beautiful lace weight crochet shawl featuring a gorgeous stitch pattern. It is quite lacy and it's not too wide. It's only about 17 inches wide, so it could also be worn as kind of a wider scarf, and then it's about 68 inches long. It is worked in shown here in a yarn called Twister by Hobbii yarn, and it is an acrylic cotton blend. There is about 1,000 meters per cake of yarn, and it features these beautiful gradual stitch changes. Now, unfortunately, when I purchased the yarn, I only purchased the one cake, and so today I'm going to be using actually a 100% cotton. They're Cotton Kings yarn, which is the Sultan Deluxe in the color Bluebell, and I'll be working it in this yarn here today, but in the one shown, I did use their yarn cake called Twister. You're going to need, it's a fine weight yarn, you're going to need about 1,000 meters or 1,094 yards. You're also going to need a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook or an E4 crochet hook and a copy of the free written instructions, which can be found on my website, richtexturescrochet.com. I have a link down in the description of this video for that. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to subscribe. There are many other shawl crochet patterns here on my channel. It's one of my favorite things to make. Not too long ago, I published the Bluebell shawl pattern, which I'll link up in the cards a little later on there for you. So let's grab our hooks and yarn and get started. Now our shawl pattern today is worked from side to side, so we're going to be working those shorter ends of the shawl. And we're going to start, it's worked in rows, you're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. Now to reach the 17 inches, as I have done, you're going to need to chain 107 chains. If you'd like to change the size of your shawl, you're going to need a stitch multiple of 12 stitches plus 11 for that foundation chain. Today I'm going to go ahead and chain 35 stitches. "35 stitches, which is my multiple of 12 plus 11 stitches on the end. Today I'm just going to be working a small swatch, obviously, just to show you how the pattern works. To make the full size again, it's 107. You're then going to, for row 1, work a double crochet into the 4th chain from your hook. Your chain 3 at the start, here and throughout, does also count as a double crochet stitch. You're then going to work a double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Next, work 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch. Chain 8. Then on your foundation chain, you're going to skip the next 11 stitches. And into your next stitch, work 2 double crochet stitches. Chain 1 and 2 more double crochet stitches back into the same stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across, chain 8, skip the next 11 stitches, and into the next stitch work 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets all the way across to the end of your foundation chain. When you come across and you're going to end on that skip 11, and you'll have 5 stitches left, you're going to finish off your row by working a 3 double crochets into your next stitch, and then a double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. At the end of this row 1, you can chain 3 and turn your work. For row 2, your chain 3 counts as a double crochet stitch. You're going to double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Next, work 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch. Chain 4. Now single crochet, working over top of the 2 chains from the previous 2 rows. So you've chained 4, and this first row is a little bit finicky. So you're just going to chain 4, then working around these 2 chains, work a single crochet. Try not to let them twist. So you'll want to make sure that they're still running alongside each other there. You're going to then chain 4 and into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 more double crochet stitches, all into the same chain 1 space. You're then going to repeat that all the way across. Chain 4, single crochet working around the next 2 chain loops, chain 4, and then into that next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, all the way until you come to the end where you'll end with your single crochet, then your chain 4. You'll then skip, you'll have your stitches remaining. You're going to skip the next 2 double crochet stitches into your next stitch, work 3 double crochets, and 1 double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. And that includes the top of your starting chain, your turning chain. At the end of your row 2, you can chain 3 and turn your work. At the end of row 2, you've chained 2 and turn your work. For row 3, you're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. You're then going to work 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch. chain 5, skip the next chain 4, and single crochet into the next single crochet stitch. Chain 3, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're going to turn your work. You're now going to work 5 double crochet stitches into this chain 5 space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then chain 3 and turn your work once more. You're now going to work a double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So you're skipping the one at the base of that turning chain and then double crochet into each of the next 5 double crochet stitches. This is going to create a double crochet square. There's 4, and then your final double crochet is just into that turning chain 3. You're then going to skip the next chain 4 loop and into your next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1, and 2 double crochet stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way across. Work your double crochet square followed by your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in your chain 1 space. I'll show you once again how to work that double crochet square. So you're going to start by chaining 5, skip the next chain 4 and single crochet into the next single crochet stitch. Chain 3 and turn your work. Next, work 5 double crochet stitches into that chain 5 space that you just created. Chain 3 and turn your work. Now work a double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches to form your double crochet square. Your final stitch is worked into the top of that turning chain. Then you'll work your double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. I'm going to complete that, work that all the way across until you come to your final 7 stitches. You'll then skip the next 2 double crochets into your next stitch, work 3 double crochet stitches, and finish off the row with a double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. Chain 3 and turn your work. For row 4, you're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And then 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch. Chain 8. You're then going to skip the next double crochet square and into your next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1, and 2 more double crochet stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way across, chain 8, skip the next double crochet square, and work 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets into that chain 1 space. All the way across until you come to your final square and final 7 stitches. You're going to chain 8, skip the square, skip the next 2 double crochet stitches, and work 3 double crochets into your next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. Chain 3 and turn your work. For row 5, you're going to double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, work 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch, and chain 8. Skip the next chain 8 space, and into your next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. You're going to repeat that all the way across, chain 8, skip the next chain 8 space, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in your next chain 1 space, all the way across until you come to your final space and 7 stitches, and you're going to work a chain 8, skip the next chain 8, skip the next 2 double crochet stitches, and work 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch. Finish off your row 5 by working a double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. Chain 3 and turn your work. Now for row 6, we're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Work 3 double crochet stitches into your next stitch. We're now going to work some more double crochet squares. So chain 5, now working over top of the next 2 chain 8 spaces, you're going to single crochet into the top of the double crochet square down below. So single crochet, working over top of those 2 chain 8s into the top of that double crochet square. You're then going to chain 3 and turn your work. Work 5 double crochet stitches into the chain 5 space. Chain 3 and turn your work once again. Work 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. You're then going to skip the rest of that chain space and into your chain 1, work 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochet stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way across. Work your double crochet square followed by your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space. I'm just going to show you once again how to work the square. You're going to start by chaining 5 and then into the top of the double crochet square 3 rows below. You're going to work a single crochet stitch working over top of those 2 chain 8s. Chain 3 and turn your work. Work 5 double crochets into your chain 5 space. Chain 3 and turn your work. Work a double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches to make your double crochet square. Then you would, if you're still going across, work your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochet. Otherwise, if you are at the end in your final 7 stitches, you're going to skip the next 2 double crochets, work 3 double crochets into that next stitch, and 1 double crochet into each of the final 4 stitches. And that's all there is for the repeat in this pattern. For the rest of the pattern, you're simply going to repeat your rows 4, 5, and 6 until your work from the beginning measures the 68 inches. There's then no edging or anything else. You're just going to fasten off and weave in your ends, and that's all there is to working the Iris shawl. I'll show you here. So on my sample one, there's no edging. I just left it the way it was, as it kind of had a pretty design to it. I'll show you the opposite side here, just like so. And that's all there is. So just go ahead, repeat those rows 4 to 6 until your work from the beginning measures your 68 inches or desired length. Fasten off, weave in your ends, block your shawl if desired, and that's all there is. So thank you so much for joining me, and once again I invite you to subscribe. Take a look around. If you happen to make the Iris shawl, be sure to share it on social media and tag Rich Textures Crochet, and I can come by and admire it. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.